Hey dude, what's up?
What's going on, John?
Oh, not much. I see you got a new ship.
Yeah, dude, that's a pretty cool one you have.
Thanks. I think
Dude,
it's weird looking, but that's why I like it.
dude, look at the earth behind us.
I know
Like,
it's so pretty.
imagine if we were like if we had a VR headset on and we were watching this. I I think it would like take you places.
Like VR headset. I mean, do you have any idea how many like iterations VR has gone through?
Dude, VR just came out, right?
Well, yes and no. The first real like type of VR was the Sensorama in the 1950s. A guy named Morton, he created it, and it basically hit all of your senses. I mean, touch, smell, video, sound, everything. But it was like this huge box that you had to like sit in, and it was ridiculous. But I mean, I feel like that was probably one of the most early iterations of VR. And then in '87, um, the term VR got coined by a guy named Jason Lanier. Now he was part of a group that created one of the first like I'd say commercial. I use the word commercial very loosely because the headset cost $9,400, and that's in 1987.
Crazy, because
It,
I just
yeah.
looked and I see that like some of the current uses um are users like the Oculus Rift, the PlayStation VR, and I mean even a cardboard box like the Nintendo Labo. I mean they range from about 600 to $70. I mean you compare it to now where we have 600, or if you want to go, a little bit cheaper, like the PlayStation VR. I mean it came out last year at about 400, but the base package was only just a headset. Now they're incorporating it more to where you have, I mean, sensors that track infrared based on, your movements of your hand or your head. They have headphones that are over the ear speakers that transmit even, you walking up steps. So it's like they're trying to push further and put you into these realities. Like, can you can you imagine doing something like
What we're doing right
maybe
now.
a surgery or a game or anything like that? Like, do you think that's even possible?
Well, I mean, funny that you mention it. They are actually using it in the medical field already. So
Hey.
already they're trying to use VR to get a greater understanding and oh, there you are. To get like a greater understanding and feel for the body. So like there was a case where some kids were there's some conjoined twins, and the conjoined twins where it was a very severe case. So what they did was they used CAT scans and MRIs and like all kinds of stuff, just trying to where'd you go? Oh,
Back. There
there
we
you
go.
are.
Hey.
Anyway, yeah. So I mean, look at this. Imagine this in VR. I mean, look at that cityscape. Like, that's amazing. Twins. And it was a very severe case. So, what they did was, I mean, they used every type of scan possible, and then they put it into a VR. And the doctors were able to look at it and determine which way they needed to go about it so that they didn't kill the kids. So, I thought that was pretty cool. And then, even in like, on the other side of the medical field, you have different researchers trying to use VR to help soldiers with PTSD. So what they do is they take them and they put a VR headset, the microphone, everything, and they put them back into the situations that they were in when they were in combat and have them talk about their feelings and what was wrong. So I feel like that's
Oh,
pretty cool.
dang.
Yeah, so they're doing that, and then same thing with stroke victims. People who have strokes and can't walk anymore. What they're doing is they're putting them in a VR headset so that it doesn't, so they feel a lot more comfortable. So they'll put them in like a park or in like on a nature trail, little stuff here and there, just so that it can make it a little bit easier and they can see themselves walking. Because, a lot of that is just in your head.
Mental, right? Yeah, and I heard you say like they're doing simulations for soldiers, and I actually just heard about the Department of Homeland Security. They're actually releasing VR school shooting training like simulators. I mean, it's
Really?
just because, dude, since like the year 2000, one out of three, mass shootings has taken places in schools. And so, I mean, you have, teachers who, I mean, they're not trained to do different things like take down a shooter. They're trained to educate children. So now they're incorporating, this system to where they're able to put, I mean, up to 60 people into a simulation,
That's
and they're
wild.
actually using, yeah, they're using Epic Games Unreal Engine, um, which is pretty cool because it's like games like Mass Effect and other games coming out. So, I mean, the possibilities are kind of endless with this, but I mean, they're putting teachers and also police officers because now you have a lot of things where, I mean, even police officers kind of folding under pressure or they're unsure what to do. So, I mean, you can put police officers and teachers into, different trainings to where you can, you know, study their levels of stress and, follow their eyes so you can kind of train them more properly and you're able to, educate these things in place. We're able to, you know, elevate our level of training. And I mean, because think about it, with 60 people, you can do a principal, you can do a teacher. So it's not just one person. You can have like a whole school system. I mean, think of it. Even we can do like meetings with this.
I mean, and yeah, I mean, we're talking about what's happening now, but I mean, just imagine the possibilities are endless of what we can do with VR. I mean, if you like you said, meetings, something that you think of as something small or insignificant. You take that, put it on like a larger scale. So think of it, like at the United Nations. Just imagine, I'm an American diplomat. You're a Chinese diplomat, African diplomat, Australia. I don't care where you're from. Just think of it. I put on a VR headset, and immediately you and I are in the same room. We're having a virtual meeting with each other, and it's being translated meetings. Say you work for like a business where there's a whole lot of traveling. Now you don't have to have everybody in the same spot. You can just have, VR meetings. It's an international company. We have sectors in China, we have sectors in Brazil, we have sectors in Italy, and we have sectors here. And there's plenty of times where I see people like, Italians, Brazilians, and many nationalities come, to our location to have huge meetings. You could cut out all of the airfare and everything like that.
A little bit more personal without being, personal. So, and just thinking about that, I know that there's actually a VR tour that Amsterdam has. So you have somebody, you put on the headset and somebody walks up to you and they just tell you a little bit about the city, but, not giving too much away to where you won't want to come and visit, but just showing you a little bit to intrigue you and make you more interested. Also, you have a company called Indoor 360 where they actually develop virtual reality tours. So, I mean, they have stuff from museums to parks to even neighborhoods and cities where you can walk through. I mean, just imagine you go on hotels.com, you put on a headset, and instead of just seeing a picture of it, you can actually walk into the room and see exactly how the room is laid out, see where the bed is, and even possibly, potentially see what your view could look out because it's, no telling what the weather is. But, with that, you can see where furniture is. And like, there's an actual app called Augmented Furniture where you browse their catalog and you can select all your furniture and then you could stage it. And then you put the headset on and you look at everything staged in a room. You can select your room and design your room, or different things like, I mean, you can even do dining halls for weddings or different things like that. So you can actually stage these things and make it where you're not wasting money. Everything is perfect. You buy it, you see it, you like it, because
It's the possibilities with VR is endless, and I'm super excited to see what happens in the future. Not only in gaming, but just see how it integrates into everyday life. Then we can
yeah,
look at
dude,
this
because
and just sit here in VR and look at this beautiful city.